Good evening, friends. Stephen Benin with Israeli News Live, and we do have a flurry of issues going on with the Earth's crust, and not just here in the United States. I want to thank John Brown. He originally sent this to me about Dutch Sense. I know he watches this man quite a bit, and this guy is definitely on top of his game about what's going on, the hot spots that he found. I watched the video a couple of days ago as I was making some rounds there, and it was catching my attention. Why is the Earth heating up and stuff, right? This is actually the video that I saw there on October the 7th that Dutch Sense had put out there, and he goes in quite lengthy there about the earthquakes, things the heating up of the Earth, things like that are happening, and without even going into the details about what he says on here. And I'm going to I want to kind of get into one spot here with you on this. Let me find it here. I think this is it right here. Yeah, let me just play just a little clip of what he says here, and then I'm being contacted by people high up in government circles there, two of them from the Pentagon, as well as from the FEMA engineer, the friend of mine. I know him, and the information that is being passed down to him. And I got another message only moments ago as I was preparing this broadcast about the shifting of the crust of the Earth. And of course, I put out another request trying to find out what do they think is causing this. But I brought up Dutch Sense here, his video. I wanted to play a little clip of what he says here, because I know world governments are very concerned because this is going global. It's not just the United States. It is a global shift. And I'm going to be talking about the places I'm being told. But the FEMA engineer, he let me know today. I'd gotten a message from him. Actually, yesterday. He says, "Hello, Steve. I'm so sorry it's taken so long to get back with you. I had one assignment after the other. To answer your questions about the crust movement, yes, I have been told that the New Madrid fault line has become very active. They're extremely concerned, and they believe it can go any day. Now, as well as the Cascadia fault line, didn't get much information in terms of what is causing the New Madrid. It's certainly starting to raise a lot of eyebrows." And that was kind of where the text message ended there with him. Now, but my Pentagon source independently had already reached out to me about this. So let me just first play this clip here from Dutch Sense, what he says, so you can kind of get the picture where we're going on this.
Island and the whole state of Washington going right down to the border of Oregon. Hundreds and hundreds of tremors going from the Olympic Peninsula down across the Puget Sound, down south of Tacoma, and all of these little vibrations, they do have magnitudes assigned to them. And look at the magnitudes. They're in the mid-range ones.
On the right side of your screen, he's going down. We have
1, 2.4. It's not just small movement. It's not just zeros. It's ones and twos now. So while they do have magnitudes assigned to this, this is more like vibrating as the plate is shifting, and this is major vibration as the plate is majorly shifting compared to where we were. Let's go back a day. 190, and the spots that were shifting were in Oregon and Washington. Now it's Vancouver and Washington. But it all hinges on this. This is the Juan de Fuca fracture zone out to the west, which we can see on the USGS plate boundary map here. The jagged edges, actually these jagged edges belong to the Pacific plate, the greater Pacific plate here. And so
right.
there,
let me see. I'll move forward just a little bit here with it.
And then they point in like arrows, coming in from down below and going up into the plate. This is shifting. This is going on right now. This is yesterday. I don't know what today is going to be on this chart, but 500
a little bit more.
And we're swarming out, and we're getting hot spots breaking out along those areas where fires are taking place along those areas, and heat is being released. That's what's going on. Nobody can tell me
when Dutch sends here, when he speaks about the hot spots, when I was watching his video, I was just the other day, it's very interesting because he literally caught it while it was happening, while he was actually monitoring this. You could see the ground, the hot spot heat up almost to 1,000 degrees. I can't fathom that. I just can't. I can't fathom that at all. But this is what he was doing. Now, to just moments ago, all right, let me kind of update you on some more. This is from my FEMA source. And by the way, we're going to be going later. Some of these right-wingers there, they've got themselves another rising stars. I won't go into it too much about this guy here, but be wary. You got to watch these people that start doing all these prophecies here. A lot of time they're inside government sources and they're getting this information and they're making them look like they have prophetic insight. They're only being told what's going to happen as they prepare these things. So no, these people are not prophets. They don't have gifts of prophecy. They just get information kind of like I do. The only difference is I'm honest about it, whereas there is a mission for these types of people. Not going to go into any more information about that. Just letting you know, be advised, be warned. Anyway, found out more information on the hotspots. The New Madrid has several hotspots along the southeast Missouri and Arkansas line. Apparently, this activity has caused severe alarm. The movement is unprecedented, and they've never seen anything like it before. Now, by the way, this all got started because Adam with Marfugal News there, he had posted on his Twitter page there that there were troops being moved out west, and he didn't want to report it until he could get some clarification on it. So I sent a message there to some friends there in the Pentagon, found out that yes, it was true, but it has to do with this seismic activity. Now, at first I thought this was meaning, oh, well, maybe that was just code phrases. You know, sometimes these guys talk to you code phrase, you know, something's going to be going on, but it's really not an earthquake. It's something different altogether. But no, it actually is dealing, and by the way, oh, there, I just saw his map there. This is that map he did on the heating of the earth there. So maybe it'll show up there while we just kind of hovering over it there. There it is right there. Look at there. See that right there in the middle there? We're right there on the Missouri-Tennessee border there. Actually, Missouri and I think that is Mississippi border. There it is. There it is. It darkens up right in there, the ground. That is where the ground was heating up. Amazing work this guy has done. Really amazing. I'm very appreciative of his work. But anyway, moving on though, the troops are being repositioned because, as I was told, there is a greater than 70% chance of a major earthquake. But of course, that was to the West Coast. Why not the New Madrid area? I don't know the answers as to why they're moving the people where they're moving them. All I know is that this is what they're doing. All right. It says also, it's also almost as if they are working in unison. As the slip continues in the Cascadia, there's more seismic activity on the New Madrid. Now, to my FEMA source, if you happen to be listening to the broadcast yourself tonight, that is true. They are working in unison. I did find out that from Pentagon sources there that that is something that it's all connected together. Now, I got also this. Nope, not that one. Sorry. Wow, I do not have it up. Anyway, I just have to tell you from memory then. I was told there's a lot of rumbling going on. And that, and you can probably see that on the top left side of the screen there, rumbling and Stephen. A lot of rumbling is going on, and that what was happening is that everything is coming alive. We are seeing shift movement, crust movement, even with, I was told, the Philippines, Indonesia, Japan, of course, the Cascadia. And I was told, of course, already that the Cascadia is what's affecting the New Madrid fault line. Now, as a result, the information that was being shared with me is that New Madrid fault line, or in the seismic activity on the West Coast, because everything is shifting at one time, they don't expect a greater earthquake being placed in one area, but it'll be mini earthquakes that will kind of dissipate some of that size of what the earthquake is that they're anticipating. But keep in mind, I don't have any idea how strong that could be. What if that dissipating ends up still being like 8.5 or 8.0 or even a 9 point something? Whereas if it was just all in one area, it could be even a 10 or some other kind of record-breaking type of earthquake. I have no idea. I know there's a lot of people concerned because John Moore, the map he's always shown us of what's going to happen, I think that's still premature. Some of the things that I've been told, that is coming. I hate to tell you that it's coming, but we're still a couple of years out before that event takes place. I do know that governments, at least the U.S. government, there is major issues going on. They're all on there. A lot of these guys are being put on standby. The resources in the Pentagon are running thin because of all the issues that are going on around the world there. So, I apologize. I don't know all the answers there, but we're going to try to keep up with this for you the best we can. Listen, those of you that want to continue on watching this broadcast, you'll probably catch the rest of this either on Patreon or one of our other channels there. Let's see, I'm not sure. Oh, I'm just trying to think real quick. Brand new tube, Israeli News Live. We should be able to air over there as well. But there are some things that I'm not going to play the rest of here on Israeli News Live because I am going to go into some subjects here that would be very, very risky for me on INL. So we appreciate you watching here. Be sure to subscribe to these other channels. And look, I'm not trying to get you to go to Patreon. Go to Brand New Tube if you want. You can sign up with iConnectFX.com. We load there as well. I'll probably have more teachings though on that side there than I do my news, but I do put news there as well, so it can be there too. But either Brand New Tube or Israeli News Live, and you got to go to the link in the description because believe me, people are always pirating our videos. They post them even on Brand New Tube, and unfortunately, people don't go and find us when you type in Israeli News Live. You go to somebody else's channel. It's not ours. So take and click on the link. It'll take you there and subscribe to the right channel. Patreon as well, Israeli News Live. If you want to help support the broadcast, we appreciate it. Jump on there. I'm going to continue on the rest of you guys. Let's go to the next page here, what we're going to be looking at. All right. Now, for those of you that have continued on with our information here, a couple of things I'm going to share with you. And these are things that you get a lot of mockers out there and unfortunately trolls that don't like the things that we're saying. So I want to share this here with you. Disclose TV. Trump was being asked recently about UFOs and also Tucker Carlson. Of course, it's not the information I'm so much worried about here, but I want to play this for you anyway. So listening to this here from Fox News there and the president being asked about UFOs.
On a lighter note, a mysterious subject, if you will, can you explain why the Department of Defense has set up a UFO task force? Here's what I've got from The Guardian. The U.S. Department of Defense has formed a new body to investigate what it calls unidentified aerial phenomena to monitor reported sightings of what most people call UFOs. Mr. President, as we wrap up here, are there UFOs?
Well, I'm going to have to check on that. I mean, I've heard that. I heard that 2 days ago, so I'll check on that. I'll take a good, strong look at that. But I will tell you this. We now have created a military, the likes of which we've never had before in terms of equipment. The equipment that we have, the weapons.
Well, I think that kind of says it enough. President, he's got to check on it. In other words, he's got to find out if he can get permission to speak about it, right? And then Tucker Carlson, all right? Watch this one right here. And Tucker, if you ever watch Israeli News Live, I have some answers for you. Listen to this.
We know a lot more about this because the government has hidden that information from us, outrageously. But now some of that information has come into public view thanks to a new documentary called The Phenomenon. We learned the feds are hiding more than we thought they were.
All we're saying, nobody has to agree that why it's there, But shouldn't we at least be spending some money to study all these phenomena? Should we study the stuff? The answer is yes. And that's all this was about. And why the federal government all these years has covered up, put brake pads on everything, stopped it. I think it's very, very bad for our country.
Are you saying that there's some evidence that still hasn't seen the light of day?
I'm saying most of it hasn't seen the light of day.
It's outrageous.
Well, it is outrageous, but it's true. And it's not just the fact that that we've had UFOs that have been here for quite some time. I believe personally we're dealing with fallen angels. But what's even a little bit more interesting, some of the things that I'm privy to as well, is that the U.S. also has those capabilities. And so maybe what we're seeing, maybe unidentified flying objects to us, but what their capabilities are and what they really can do is far greater than what most people could ever even imagine. I'll just leave it at that. Also diagnosed with COVID-19. Well, this is an interesting story, right? Kanevsky's condition said to be deteriorating. He's the 92-year-old rabbi in Israel, Rabbi Chaim Kanevsky, who has claimed that he is in communication with the Messiah. Now, I'm going to blast another one for you. You know, recently we shared with you a documentary out of Israel where David Israel Cohen claiming that he is the Davidic Messiah. And as I mentioned to you, he would definitely not be my choice. But at the same token, I thought it was interesting when he talked about the technical, like the new era that is coming, a technical era. A biblical techno era, so to speak. That was very interesting to me. But I am coming into some very enlightening information. And I'm going to be speaking with Yana tomorrow. We're going to be doing a Steve and Yana chat. Going to go into more of this with you guys. I think you're going to really find this interesting. But Donald Trump, and it's really interesting because one man that has really done more work on this than anybody has done an amazing job at it. That's none other than Adam Green with No More News. And he did a video on October 5th, Is Trump Mashiach ben Joseph? Well, the rabbinical thought is that there can be more than one Mashiach ben Joseph in an age to begin with. And so there could be several of them. Not quite like the case with Mashiach ben David, who is to be the Messiah of peace. But Adam, when he was bringing this up, and I didn't know at the time Adam had done this, he shared with me today about this video. I could concur with his information because some new things that I have come across recently have really, really, really brought me to the place where I believe that Adam is on the right track. We're going to be sharing with you. My wife also had been doing research, her own as well, bringing in even more information. Hopefully we can bring Adam on to discuss this, his perspective. We'll bounce some ideas off of each other. But I know there was a lot of speculation in 2017 about Donald Trump converting to Judaism. Did he actually convert? Well, I know the answer to that now, and the answer is yes. He did convert to Judaism, and I'm sure that's going to stun much of the Christian community, but it's true. And there is a major plan in the works amongst world powers dominating the globe to bring in this new world order. And they're going to bring Trump as he will be that one that they will consider to be Mashiach ben Joseph, in my opinion as well. And I think because you got to look, Israel's looking for two things. One, to defeat Israel's enemies. And they consider Iran to be the enemy of Israel right now. So Trump already took out Soleimani. Now, the Israelis actually pulled the trigger. Just Trump was the voice there to give them the okay. Then secondly, of course, we already know Trump give them the embassy in Jerusalem, which was a big issue. Really didn't move it. Just they took the office they already had there and called it the U.S. Embassy. But nonetheless, it was a huge step. Secondly, building of the third temple. Trump is going to hand Israel the third temple, the building of the third temple in Jerusalem. I believe it with all my heart, no doubt about it. Will Jared Kushner play a part in something in here? Maybe. I don't know. But maybe tomorrow when we talk with Jan on this, I'll go deeper into what I know about this. But I will tell you, he did convert to Judaism in 2017. Can't tell you how I know it. I just know it. It is a fact, and it did happen. All right. So anyways, we go on to, and just in closing here, this documentary film that was put together by Stop World Control, this is one of the main reasons why I could not air on Israeli News Live YouTube. This is a very well put together documentary. The man that's interviewing Dr. Madej, and I think it is, the graphics and everything they use in it help put the words of Dr. Madej into perspective. Listen to a few minutes of this here.
Today I have a guest in our studio, Dr. Carrie Madej. She is a medical expert who has done research.
Never before. First of all, this vaccine will be using a modified RNA or modified DNA in the vaccine. So why is this important? It's important to know because it could potentially alter our DNA, our genome. And what's the big deal about DNA or RNA? Well, our genome. Well, the genome is what makes us human, what separates us from the rest of the animals and plants in the world. It's the blueprint for what creates us, how we reproduce, how we function, how we repair, how we evolve. So one little change, one little protein inserted, one taken out, one changed, can actually create a congenital defect or a hereditary disorder. So a little change is grand. So something that can alter that could really be devastating on us humans, right? You see out in nature.
So I guess you can follow from that point on. I'll post links here for you so you can see the rest of this interview with Dr. Madej, and that's with the folks there at Stop World Control. And I appreciate the work that they did to put this together. Again, we'll be together, me and Yana, tomorrow, going into more details on the things. And very concerning, though, too, about the seismic activity, the crust movement on the Earth there. And I know that as we saw earlier in the broadcast there with Dutch Sense, the man's done a tremendously great job and work that he's done there. So I'll put the link in there for him as well. And hopefully, we'll just be praying about the things going on. And another thing, too, we're going to really be getting into is biblical prophecy, those prophecies that have been fulfilled, because another thing that I am really have been taken down deeper in the rabbit hole on is the global control that is being done. And there are those that really believe there are good forces for global control, but people forget our home is not on this earth. But that is why there is a global push for power. And we're going to be getting into these things in the weeks ahead. I'm Stephen Ben-Nun with Israeli News Live. Thank you for listening, and thank you for tuning in. God bless you.